Let's start with news on the vaccine front, though. Pfizer is moving up some of its summer vaccine shipments to Canada. An extra 5 million doses will be delivered this June ahead of schedule. Let's take you through where that puts us as we head into April. By the end of this week, Canada will have received 9.5 million total doses. And here's what we're expecting over the next 3 months. 17.8 million doses from Pfizer, 12.3 million from Moderna, and 4.4 million from AstraZeneca. That adds up to 44 million doses by Canada Day. That doesn't include the 10 million doses ordered from the one-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Those deliveries are still being negotiated, but the government says they should start arriving at the end of April. Vaccine supply and distribution is a major concern as variants fuel a third wave in the pandemic here in Canada. And as National Advisory Committee on Immunization now recommends not using the AstraZeneca vaccine on Canadians under the age of 55 due to the rare possibility of blood clots. Anita Anand is the Minister of Procurement. Hi, Minister. Good to see you as always. Thank you for making the time.
Hi, Vashi.
Given the announcement today about Pfizer and the concerns around AstraZeneca and blood clots, I wanted to ask you from a procurement perspective. Does that change the way you approach AstraZeneca going forward? For example, are you considering curbing or canceling any shipments?
Well, it's a great question. And just to put it in context, we did announce today that we'd have 5 million doses of Pfizer coming into the country in June. In addition to our current numbers, that puts us at having 44 million doses of approved vaccine into the country prior to the end of June. And in terms of your question and the procurements, we have a diversified portfolio of vaccines. We are pulling vaccines from 4 approved suppliers to date, and we will continue to do that in accordance with our contracts. The reality is with Pfizer and Moderna, we have more of those vaccines than all of the others. We've exercised options so that we have 40 million doses of Pfizer coming into the country and 44 million doses of Moderna. But the portfolio is diversified, and we will continue to bring in vaccines of approved suppliers.
So with respect to AstraZeneca, does that mean from your perspective, you still plan on making sure all the contracts that you have in place, whether it be with the Serum Institute, whether it be through COVAX, those are fulfilled? Is that accurate?
Yes, it is. And the reason that we are continuing to bring these vaccines into the country is that AstraZeneca has been approved as being safe and effective by Health Canada. And that is the moment at which we begin bringing vaccine into this country from the Serum Institute, from the United States. That 1.5 million doses of AstraZeneca is on a truck right now coming into this country this evening. And so we will continue to procure vaccines that we have negotiated for under contract.
I guess the reason that I ask, though, is, and I take your point on all of that, just given the new guidance around how it's used. Yes, it is still approved, but the guidance for how it's used has changed, thereby kind of narrowing the number of people in each province who can have access to it. But you're saying, regardless of that, as long as it's approved, you continue to pursue the contracts.
That's right, Vashi. And I will say that we do still see demand for vaccine across the board from across the country, including the AstraZeneca vaccine. I was just speaking with my husband before coming on, and he said himself that when it's his turn, he'll take whatever vaccine is available. I feel the same way. Once a vaccine is approved, it is safe and effective.
On the 1.5 million that are on that truck, as you say, some provinces today say they still don't know when they'll receive it. My understanding is there's still like another approval process with Health Canada around the facility it's coming from that has to take place. So what can you tell provinces tonight about when they can expect to receive those doses?
Well, the first thing I'd like to reiterate is that by the end of this week, we're going to have 9.5 million doses of approved vaccine in this country, and prior to the end of June, 44 million doses. So the claim that we don't have a steady supply coming into the country is completely false. The next thing I'd like to say with regards to AstraZeneca is we wanted to get these 1.5 million doses into Canada as soon as possible. So Health worked with the regulator to allow us to, in a way, pre-position these doses while the final approvals were being taken. And we expect that to occur within the next number of days, and it won't be long, if all goes well, that those doses would be issued out to the provinces and territories. We do make our delivery schedules fully transparent. They are posted on the website. They are discussed with the provinces and territories by Major General Danny Fortin as soon as we get them. There is full transparency with regards to those delivery schedules in a way that other jurisdictions do not make those schedules transparent. And the reality, Vashi, is that supply of vaccine outpaces the administration that the provinces are undertaking. And so as these vaccine deliveries ramp up, 3.2 million doses in this country this week alone, we're going to need the provinces and territories to really ramp up as well.
You sound frustrated with the provinces making the accusation that the supply from your government has not been steady or has not been certain. Is that an accurate way to characterize it?
No, I'm just trying to provide the facts, actually. The facts are that we have a steady stream of vaccine coming into this country. The claim that we don't simply isn't inaccurate. And that stream, I'd like to suggest, is going to only increase, right? We're going to have Pfizer delivering 1 million vaccines a week during April and May, and then 2 million a week during the month of June. And that's just one supplier. Add Moderna on top of that, and J&J, who told me last night that their deliveries are going to begin at the end of April. We're going to have a multitude of vaccines that's in the millions coming into the country on a monthly basis. And that is a signal to the provinces and territories to be ready. And we've been actually saying that we were going to be having millions and millions of vaccines coming into the country for the big lift for a very long time. Indeed, prior to the holidays in 2020, we did say that at least 6 million vaccines would be coming into the country. Now we see, prior to the end of March, now we see 9.5 million coming by the end of this week. That's an increase of 3.5 million. The only time we're changing our amounts is when we increase them. The timetables are accelerating, the deliveries are accelerating, and the provinces and territories need to be ready as a result.
I certainly understand that point, and I think there are very genuine questions for provinces about a lack of speed for some provinces in administering those doses. But putting aside that for a second, I mean, there were a couple weeks back in February where the doses were not what was promised. There were delays for a variety of reasons. The provinces today, or a few of them, are just saying that they don't have certainty, for example, on AstraZeneca, when they'll get those 1.5 million doses. You're saying hopefully in the near term, but you can't provide a specific date. Is there a specific date for that? And also, just quickly on Moderna, is there another delay in next week's shipment?
No, there's not a delay in the shipment of Moderna next week at all.
Okay.
So that is false. And you had a number of questions in that last question, so I'll just address them individually. First of all, yes, there were bumps in the road in February, and we were completely transparent about what those bumps were. And indeed, we've seen that Pfizer has since come back and accelerated 1.5 million doses into Q1 to more than make up for that time. There were bumps in the road. We have manage those bumps, and we are in a different place with regards to our vaccine deliveries now. In terms of the AstraZeneca question, when Health Canada will approve those 1.5 million doses for delivery to the provinces and territories, I would just like to say that we are operating in a global environment where every single country is looking to purchase the exact same product from a handful of suppliers. The fact that we are able to get vaccines into this country at such an accelerated pace is incredibly important to recognize, and we will work as quickly as possible to ensure that those vaccines are given out to the provinces and territories as soon as Health Canada provides that approval. But we want to make sure that the process is safe. We don't want to be issuing vaccine out to provinces and territories unless it has the approval of Health Canada. So it is important to take that time to make sure that the safety concerns are met. And then finally, I will just say that we have to make sure that we recognize that we have a diverse portfolio of vaccines. And while there are concerns from some quarters with regards to one vaccine, we have multiple vaccines approved now: Pfizer, Moderna, J&J, AstraZeneca, and our diverse portfolio of vaccines means that we can bring in millions of vaccines from these suppliers. So in Q2 alone, 17.8 million Pfizer vaccines are coming into the country cumulatively. Moderna, 12.3 million vaccines. And the list goes on with AstraZeneca, and J&J, for example, will be starting at the end of April.
And just really quickly, because those 1.5 million are on loan from the United States, Minister, has there been a specific ask from your government, and given that President Biden yesterday announced a further acceleration of their timeline for accessibility to vaccines, has there been an ask from your government to that government for any excess supply of Pfizer or Moderna?
I would like to say that I have made several asks of the Biden administration across a range of vaccines, given that they are our closest neighbor, and that conversation is ongoing. In addition, I have raised vaccine sharing with the UK as well, but both of those countries have indicated that the supply of vaccine is intended for their populations primarily. Therefore, it is extremely important for us to remember that for us to get that 1.5 million doses of AstraZeneca from the United States was a mark of success in terms of our negotiations with that country.
Can I take from that that the UK said no?
The UK said at this time that their doses are intended for their population.
Okay, Minister, I'll leave it there. I appreciate your time as always. Thank you.
Anytime, Vashi. Good luck and take care.
That's Federal Procurement Minister Anita Anand. Hi, I'm Vashi Capellos, host of Power in Politics. See more of our show by subscribing to the CBC News channel or click the link for another video.